In this short lecture, I want to give you an overview of commentaries on the Pastoral Epistles, particularly commentaries that are applicable to our course, the Pastoral Epistles and Pastoral Ministry. We actually want to focus on two groupings. Firstly, the ones that we actually used when writing the course. We used two primarily, so I'm going to talk you through a bit about them. And then secondly, we want to talk about the ones that are available in SATS's electronic library. In other words, they weren't primarily used when preparing the course, but you have free access to them as part of our electronic library. Let's begin by looking at the commentaries that we used in preparing the course materials. The first is the Africa Bible Commentary volume by Sam Ngewa. Now, the reason for choosing this commentary, amongst others, was that it is specifically from an African perspective. So it's the only one that I'm aware of that is written by an African scholar. The only full volume commentary on the Pastoral Epistles written by an African scholar. Since we're in Africa and we're trying to understand some of the implications and applications of the Pastoral Epistles for pastoring in an African context, it seemed a no-brainer to draw on this in preparing our notes. The commentary itself strikes a nice balance between explanation and exposition, so the application side of it. So it's a nice, user-friendly, easy-to-read commentary with quite a lot of anecdotes and implications for African ministry. So I used this repeatedly when preparing the course. The other one I drew heavily on when writing the course is the Pastoral Epistles for Pastors by John Kitchen. And if I used the other one because of the focus on Africa, I used this one because of its focus on pastors. Our course is called the Pastoral Epistles and Pastoral Ministry. So the fact that Kitchen's focusing on the implications of the Pastoral Epistles for Pastors was a big draw card. When I got into the commentary, I was rather surprised to find that it is incredibly technical, specifically with reference to its use of Greek. So he makes extensive use of Greek. He's constantly discussing elements of grammar and word forms and such like. I think this makes it less than optimal if you're not familiar with Greek. So I wouldn't recommend you buy this commentary if you're not fairly proficient at using Greek. The big positive for Kitchen's commentary is that he saturates it with what he calls ministry maxims. He in fact draws a ministry maxim from each verse, and they are really good. They focus on the implications of what he's discovered in the text for pastoral ministry, and we've worked many of those into the course, so you'll get them even if you don't have it. Neither Ngewa nor Kitchen are available in SATS's electronic holdings. What I want to do now is show you the four commentaries that would be my first choices if I were picking four from SATS's e-holdings. The first is the New American Commentary on the Pastoral Epistles. So this is the New American Commentary series, and I absolutely love the New American Commentary series. I think it finds just the right balance between exposition of the text and the sort of more detailed discussion of elements of exegesis. So it's beautifully balanced, and the volume on the Pastoral Epistles is no exception. This is a superb commentary. I heartily recommend it to everyone. It's by Thomas Lee and Griffin Jr. The New Covenant Commentary series is very similar. So this is the New Covenant Commentary series, and everything that I said about the New American Commentary I think applies also to the New Covenant Commentary series. They're generally extremely evangelical. They strike a beautiful balance between explaining the text and looking for elements of application to our lives. There are actually two separate volumes. So the volume shown in the picture is the one on 1 Timothy, but there's a separate volume for 2 Timothy and Titus. And what's particularly intriguing about this one is that it's written by Ada Spencer. In other words, it's written by a lady scholar. So just by the fact that the author is a woman is going to give it a different perspective to commentaries written by men. And I think that enriches our experience. So heartily endorse the New Covenant commentary by Ada Spencer in 2 volumes on the Pastoral Epistles. My next recommendation would be the Bible Speaks Today commentary. And the reason I'm recommending this particular volume is because the ones on 2 Timothy, and there's a separate one on 1 Timothy and Titus, are written by John Stott himself. Anything by John Stott is always superb. The Bible Speaks Today series is okay. It's quite dated. These were written quite a long time ago, so they're perhaps out of date, but they remain absolutely outstanding, mostly because Stott himself was so outstanding. And you can sense when you read this that his study was conducted in the act of preaching through the passage. So I absolutely love John Stott and his writings, and the Bible Speaks Today commentaries on 1 Timothy and Titus and 2 Timothy by Stott are no exceptions. This is the Biblical Theology for Christian Proclamation commentary. I have to confess that I haven't worked with it, but it's written by Kostenberger. Now, apologies, Berger. It's written by Kostenberger. He's a very conservative, reformed scholar, and he is usually excellent. So, although I haven't worked with it, it looks like a comprehensive, detailed, very conservative commentary. If we move on, here are some additional commentaries that are also available in the SATS electronic library that I just thought I'd draw to your attention. So the one by Ackerman over here is distinctively Wesleyan in its approach. If you're interested in a Wesleyan slant, we have one with that focus. The next one by Linda Belville. Linda Belville wrote the commentary on 1 Timothy, and John Lansma wrote the part on 2 Timothy and Titus. Linda Belville herself is an evangelical scholar of the highest order, widely regarded in egalitarian thinking and circles, and because that's one of the hot potato issues in 1 Timothy, you might find her take on 1 Timothy 2 particularly interesting. If we continue to look through some of the others, we have a Catholic commentary over here by Montague, Healy and Williamson. We've got a little bit of a Bible study series, and then also to point out anything by Joel Green or Max Turner is typically top-notch. Now, I haven't worked with this commentary in the 2 Horizons New Testament commentary series, but Joel Green and Max Turner are usually outstanding. So all of these are in our electronic library, and you may want to fiddle with some of them, see if you enjoy their perspective. The conclusion we can draw is that there are enough great commentaries in our e-library to complete this course with distinction. You're actually spoiled for choice. You don't need to buy commentaries to complete the course. You might want to buy some, but in order to complete the course, there's plenty resources available.